Hello and welcome back. So, before proceeding further in this course, I want to organize the code of my Express application using a very popular architecture called as MVC, which stands for Model View Controller. The simple reason for that is our application is going to grow as we keep on adding new functionalities to our application. So, now is the right time to think about organizing the files and folders of our application code. So in this lecture, we are going to have a brief overview of MVC architecture, and then we will organize the files of our application using the MVC architecture. Now MVC stands for Model View Controller, and it is a pattern that separates an application into three distinct parts, each with a specific responsibility. When used with Express.js, it provides a clean and predictable structure for building robust web applications. So using MVC architecture, we can separate application into three main parts. Model, which contains the business logic, view, which contains the UI code, and then the controller, which is the application layer and which is responsible for handling any incoming request. Okay, so in MVC architecture, we have three main parts: model, view, controller. Now, let's talk about each of these components of MVC architecture in detail. So first we have model, which is the business layer of our application. The model is the application's data layer. It is responsible for managing the data and business logic. The model handles all the interactions with the database, including fetching, creating, updating, and deleting records. And it should be completely independent of the user interface. In an Express application, the model is typically implemented using a library like Mongoose. So in the previous lecture, we created a hotel model. So first we created a hotel schema, and based on that schema, we created a hotel model. And using that hotel model, we were saving documents in the hotels collection. So in the same way, each Mongoose schema and model represents a different type of data in our application. It can be a user data, it can be a product data, etc. And the model's functions are self-contained and they don't know anything about the request or response. So in simple words, a model is responsible for executing any business logic like connecting to database, defining the data structure, that is defining the schema, handling database queries like querying the data from the collection, creating documents in a collection, etc. And it is also responsible for data validation. So in the last lecture, when we created the hotel schema and based on that when we created the hotel model, when we use MVC architecture, defining the model and schema for that model should be done in the model layer of MVC. Then we have controller. The controller acts as an intermediary between the model and the view, and it is the brain of the application's flow. It handles any incoming request, processes user input, and it orchestrates the action of the model and the view. In Express.js, the controller is an express route handler function that takes request and response as argument, and its main role is to receive the request, process the input, interact with the model, and manage the response and send it back to the client. So the controller is responsible for handling any incoming request and creating a response and sending it back to the client. Then we have view. The view is the application's presentation layer, and its sole purpose is to display data to the user and present the user interface. It should not contain any application logic and it should only react to data passing to it from the controller. In an Express.js application, the view is a template file that Express renders and sends as an HTML response. So in Express.js, the popular templating engine includes EJS, Pug, and Handlebars. So using these template engines, we can create UI templates and that should be done in the presentation layer in the view. So the view is going to contain the view template of our application, which will be rendered in the browser and which will be displayed to the user. Now, in case of a web API application like the one which we are creating, since we send a JSON data in the response, for such application, we don't need to have a view associated with it. Only if we are creating a server-side rendered application, at that time, this view is required. Now let's see how the request and response is handled in an MVC architecture. So let's say we have a client and the client is making a request to access a page. Let's say the client is making a request to get a list of all the hotels. So first, that request will hit one of the routers which we have defined in our Express application. Here, since we are requesting for a list of hotels, let's say this request has hit the hotel router. From the router, the control will go to the controller where we are defining all our route handler functions. Now, the controller might need to access some data from the database and then it needs to send that data in the response. To get the data from the database, the controller needs to interact with the model and the model is going to send the required data to the controller. Now, in a web API application like the one which we are creating, once the controller has received the data from the model, it is directly going to send that data back to the client, mostly in the JSON format. But if we are creating a server-side rendered application, then there is one more step involved. So in that case, once the controller has received the data from the model, in most cases, it is going to pass that data to the view. The view is going to generate a UI with the help of the data it has received from the controller, and it is going to generate that UI with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, along with images and the data which the controller has passed to the view. And it is going to send that UI template back to the controller. And then the controller is going to send that UI template, that view, to the client in the response. And remember that in the response, this time we are not sending data. We are sending a view. We are sending some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that view will be rendered by the client. And this is how the request and response flow works in case of an MVC architecture. So this was a broad overview of MVC architecture that we are going to use in our Express application. And we have already created a controller layer previously in our Express application. So if I go to VS Code, here we already have this controller folder. Actually, let me rename it to controllers because this folder is going to keep all our controllers. So I'm going to rename it to controllers. Okay. And currently in this controllers, we have one controller file, this hotelsController.js. So whenever a request comes to our Express application, first it is going to hit a route. Let's say the client is requesting for all the hotels. In that case, it is going to hit this route. Okay. And from this route, what we are doing is we are calling this get all route handler function. This get all route handler function, we have defined it inside this hotels controller. So from the router, the control will go to the controller. In the controller, we are handling that request with the help of this get all route handler function. Now, this controller function might need some data from the model. Currently, since we are using a JSON file as our data source, we are simply reading the data from that JSON file. We have not created any models yet. But now we are going to work with database. And in order to work with database, we need to create models, and using that models, we can interact with the database collections. That's what we have learned in our previous lectures. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder. So in this project directory, I'm going to create a new folder. Let me save this file first and let me close it. Let me also close this file. And now I'm going to create a new folder inside this book my stay folder, and I'm going to call it as models. And this models folder is going to keep all my models. Inside this, let me go ahead and let me create a file, and here I'm going to call it as hotels.js or hotel.js. So this model file, it is going to keep the hotel model. It is going to create the hotel model and it is going to export it. And I have already created the hotel model. So in our previous lectures, we have created this hotel model. I'm going to copy this schema and this model. So let me cut it from here and let me go ahead and let me paste it inside this hotel.js file. So here I'm creating a hotel schema where I'm specifying the fields like name, price, and city. Let me also go ahead and let me specify a description field for the hotel. This description, it is not going to be a required field, and I don't want to add any validation on this description field. So I'm simply going to specify its type as string. So this description is going to store a string value. And in the same way, I also want to have one more field, which is ratings. Now for this ratings, I want to set some validation. So first of all, the type of this ratings is going to be number. And let's say while creating the hotel document, if the client does not pass the value for this ratings field, in that case, I want to set a default value for this ratings. For that, we have another validator called default. And using this, we can specify a default value for a field if no value is supplied for that field from the client. Here I'm going to set the default value to 1.0. Okay, so this is my schema, and based on that schema, I'm creating this hotel model. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this hotel model from this file so that we can use it in other files. For that, what I'm going to do is instead of creating a variable and then exporting it, I'm directly going to export the model which this line of code will return us. So here I'll simply say module.exports, and I want to export the model which this model function is going to return us. In this case, it is going to return us a hotel model. So that model we want to export from this file. Okay, let's save the changes. Let's quickly go to the terminal to check if we have any errors. So we do have an error, and this error is because in the server.js file where we are trying to use this hotel model, there we do not have access to that hotel model. That's because now we are defining this hotel model in the hotel.js file, and from there we are exporting it. But in this server.js file, we are not importing it. So I'm going to remove this line from here because now I don't want to save a hotel document like this. We will see how we can create new hotel documents and save it in the hotels collection in our coming lectures. But from there, I will remove that code. Okay, let me save this file as well. Now, where are we going to use this hotel model, which we are exporting from this hotel.js file? If you remember from the flow diagram, the controller requests data from a model. So here we have created the hotel model. Now, from our hotelsController.js, we might want to get the hotel data, and based on that, we might want to send that hotel data in the response. So basically, we are going to use the hotel model in this controller.js file. So far, whatever route handler functions which we have created, there we are working with a file. Here we are working with this hotels.json file because so far we have been using this hotels.json file as our data source. But now we are going to work with a database. And since we are going to work with a database, now we don't need this hotels.json file. And in this controller, we don't need to work with that file. So first of all, I'm going to remove this require statement here. I don't want to use this fs module anymore. And I also don't want to read this hotels.json file. I'm going to remove these two lines of code from here. Okay. Then here we have written a middleware to check if a hotel with a given ID already exists or not. So we also don't need this middleware function. Why? Because now since we are going to use Mongoose, when we are querying for a document based on its ID using Mongoose from a MongoDB collection, and if that document is not found, Mongoose is going to throw an error. And we are going to use that error to inform client that the document which the client is requesting for is not found. So here we are not going to check if a hotel document exists based on a given ID. So I'm also going to remove this function, this middleware function. We don't need it. And then we also have created this middleware function to validate the request body coming with post request. There we are checking if the request body does not exist. In that case, we are sending a response. And if the request body exists, but it does not have this name property or the city property or this price property, in that case, we are returning a response saying that request body does not contain a valid hotel object. But now we are adding that validation directly on the schema. So in this schema, we are already saying that this name is a required field, this price is a required field, and this city is a required field. So that validation will be done by this hotel schema. And that's why we don't need this validate post body middleware to validate the request body. That will be taken care by hotel schema. So I'm also going to remove this function. Okay. Now inside these route handler functions, we are writing some logics to read, create, update, and delete documents. But we were doing it inside this hotels.json file. But now we are going to write logic inside these methods to work with database. So I'm also going to remove these logics from here. Okay. So for now, I'm making all of them as empty. And from the next lecture, we will start implementing them again in order to create documents in the hotels collection in the MongoDB database, and also to read, update, and delete documents from the hotels collection in the MongoDB database. All right, and let me also go ahead and let me remove this comment from here. So we are going to implement these methods from our next lecture. Let me save the changes here. And here, as I said, let's say I want to read all the hotel documents from the collection. For that, I will need the hotels model in this file, in this hotelsController.js file. So here, I'm going to import that hotels model. So I'm going to call it as hotel, the model name as hotel, and I'm going to require it from the hotel.js file. So for that, from the current directory, we will go one directory up, and in there we have this models directory, and from there we are going to import this hotel. Okay, and here let's specify hotel.js. Let's save the changes, and using this hotel model, we are going to create new hotel documents. We are going to read hotel documents from the hotels collection. We are going to get a hotel document by its ID. We are going to update a hotel document, and we are going to delete a hotel document. Let's save the changes here. And finally, let's go to hotelsrouter.js, and there for this post request, which is going to come to root URL /API /v1/hotels, there before executing this route handler function, before that we were using this validate post body middleware. But now we have deleted this middleware, so I'm also going to remove it from here. Okay, and let's save this file as well. Let's go to the terminal to check if we have any errors. I can see that we have an error, and here it says Mongoose is not defined, and that is correct because in the hotels.js file, we are using this Mongoose object. So in order to use it, we also need to require it in this file. So I'm going to copy this require statement from here, and I'm going to paste it at the top. And with this, if I save the changes and if we go back to the terminal, we have another error, and it says argument fn is required. And we have this error in hotelsrouter.js line number 6. Let's go back to VS Code, and in the hotelsrouter.js line number 6. Okay, we have also removed this check hotel exist middleware. So I'm also going to remove this. This also we don't need. Let's save the changes now. Let's go back to the terminal. And finally, our application is compiled successfully and it is running. And you can see that the DB connection is also successful. All right, so this is all I wanted to cover in this lecture. In the next lecture, let's go ahead and let's write the logic for creating a new document in the hotels collection. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.